Hello, everyone. Bill T with Paint Minis Live here. I'm sorry I'm a little tardy to my own party. uh, yeah, it just life is a lot of fun right now. Just really busy, really busy. And when I got home from work today, I was like, yeah, I'll have some time. I'll have some time to veg a little bit. I really needed a nap, so I took a nice nap, and then I woke up and I was like, I got a couple hours before my stream. I can play some games with some buddies and have a little bit of fun. Anyways, I lost track of time a little bit because I was having a good time, and so I'm sorry I'm a little bit later than I usually am, about 15 minutes late actually. So, but that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna paint up some moon men tonight. We're gonna kind of keep trucking away on these moon soldier guys. And yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna just get a couple of things turned on here. We're gonna need our painting camera ready to go. What else are we gonna kind of need here? We've got uh, we've got our soldiers ready to go. We've got our colors picked out for the most part, anyways. We did bright jade for that. And then just a neutral gray for some of the other bits and bobs going on there. There was also kind of an orange color with that, so we may as well kind of keep in theme. What we got for kind of yellows? It was almost yellow orange, but I'm sure we'll find something. Yeah, here we go. Yellow ochre. That was the color I was searching for. We'll add just a little bit of extra flavor. We'll flavor blast it, so to speak. So we'll go ahead and show off our friends list, and which I do need to update at some point for all of the names that are kind of friends of PML now and affiliates and whatnot. I just kind of throw them in there so you can go ahead and hunt around YouTube for them. Da da da. Let's see. And then I forgot my phone upstairs. I need to go get my phone so we can do some jams. Boop boop boop. How to communicate that. Let's see here. Maybe we can just throw up a little we will be okay. Yeah, there we go. We'll be right back. I'm telling you, just like when life gets busy and I don't have enough time to prep the stream, that's when crazy stuff happens. I'll be back in just a moment here though. Hey, what's going on? Meet those frosted fists. Sorry about that, everyone. I forgot my phone upstairs. I put it on the charger because I wanted to, have some music for the stream, and I just spaced it. I spaced it. There we are. Yeah. So, Mythos, what's going on in your world, friend? Your paints should be arriving shortly here. I got a notification they should be here tomorrow. So, and I got a little extra stock for the store too. I thought, heck, I may as well have, bring on some of those like specialty paints that they have, the signature series. So I got the entire Ninjon set from Monument. They were very kind. They made sure the price was reasonable to pick it all kind of up at once, because part of doing business and that stuff is making sure you're buying in quantities that are worth their time. So, yeah, that was very nice. That was very nice. The folks at Monument Hobbies are just delightful to deal with. They're really good people, so to speak. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna need my number 3 brush. I'm gonna need to get my other camera running. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit behind on making sure the stream's all set up, but that's okay. Actually, we are gonna remove that. This mirroring thing gets me kind of off, so I'm gonna actually shut that off. Here we go. Hey, what's going on, Dungeon Minister? We're painting Moon Men tonight. Just a heads up for you. I don't know if I've told you this or whatnot, but Friday night is kind of going to be a bit more of a adult-centric night. I'm giving it a bit more of a trial, like a trial thing. I'm still kind of figuring out how to advertise that, but last Friday we had some crazy shenanigans from Laz from the UK. He runs a channel called Lazy Mini Painting. It's not really lazy. He just, his whole theme is kind of, it's a therapeutic thing for him. But I'm thinking about bringing on some other characters, and Friday might be a bit more loose in the lip, because I know we've got a couple of PML fans in your household. So I would maybe steer them away from PML on Friday nights. But I'm not sure if that's totally the road I'm going to go down with for PML. But I'm just kind of giving it a trial period, because you've got to get out there and taste, do some taste tests and whatnot to see what folks are interested in seeing, just to kind of continue to build our hobby community, so to speak, and make sure everybody's got something fun to watch that's up their alley. I'm gonna get some tunes going. I'm gonna glove up, and we'll get to painting these Moon Men as soon as I am able here. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Well, very nice. I'm happy that you heard. I did did do my own like branded adult content warnings. That was fun to make. Never done that before, but I think it's good. That way I can, kind of show that and bring guests on, and they don't have to necessarily worry about their, obviously they should kind of conduct themselves good, but or in a good fashion, but they can be a little less tight-lipped. I'm struggling to use technology as a millennial. I feel like I've betrayed my generation, but that's all right. We're doing okay. Here we go. Here we go. Now we got some tunes going. That's good. What's going on, Tonka Todd? Good to see you. Just got back from the store. Fixed and refilled the feed bin. All right. Who is he painting? To be honest, at one point I had a really deep kind of fixation with doing like body painting. Obviously, like with a bit more clothes on, but I kind of wanted to give that a shot when I got the airbrush doing like body painting stuff, because I saw there was like a lot of really cool artists out there doing like lizard people and really crazy stuff. I was like, man, that'd be really cool if I could do that. But I didn't really go down that route. I like the models. The models are fun. So I'm just gonna do some quick desky cleanup stuff here with the models that are kind of finished, so that they don't get accidentally scratched or scraped. So far, we have about 6 minis that are kind of ready to go. I don't even think I need the spray booth for tonight, just because these guys are mostly going to be hand brush minis, you know, kind of traditional brush style minis, which is a-okay by me. So I'm going to go ahead and reposition the camera here to a bit more of a comfortable zone. Give you maybe more of a top-down view. Very nice. Oh, just loosened the wrong screw there. All right, cool beans. Hey, what's going on, Wheeling Dragon? Oh, don't worry about being late. I was 15 minutes late to my own party today. It's all kind of catching up to me a little bit. All of the workouts, and we're redoing a couple of inventory shelves at our warehouse at work. And so I was hucking these 50 pound trash bag boxes today, and I was kind of tired after that. I was like really tired. So I took a nap and then started gaming with some friends and had such a good time that I just totally lost track of time. So I'm just going to clean off my palette here. These silicone palettes, if you can find those like kind of pop-it looking toys on Amazon, those things work about equally as well as these like Turbo Dork branded stuff. But I wanted to throw Turbo Dork a bone because their color shift paints are really good, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll spend the extra couple of bucks to have your custom your custom silicone palette, because I enjoy what you make, and I think it's important to support people with a couple bucks here and there. So I caved and bought it, but you could use one of those like pop-it ones from Amazon that are like way cheaper. All right. What's going on, Calvinoni? And RPG Grandma coming in. Hello, RPG Grandma. Good to see you. Good to see you. Always love seeing you in the chat. Decided it was edgy and bought it. Yeah, there you go. Playing Labyrinth today. Got caught up on planning the next session. Very cool, very cool. Oh, I missed Dungeon Ministers. Let's see. There was an artist who painted by covering women in paint and having them crawl around on a canvas. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Was my scathing review, or not scathing, but my was my review of it enough to convince you their mythos to get one yourself? I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna put this burnt red on the paint shaker here, and we'll get to work on kind of doing the shoulder pads on these guys. Will be a sale on for Black Friday. Yeah, probably for Turbo Dork stuff. I really want. They have a paint called Afterburner, and it looks just like hot warped steel, or like metal or something. And I really want to get it because I think it would look really cool on the ends of machine guns. Like, could you imagine this guy's kind of beefy machine gun with kind of an afterburner effect on it, where it's like copper to blue or whatever. It just looks like hot steel, and I really kind of want to get that paint. All right. Tonight's drink of choice for our painting session here is Enchanted Island Lava Flow Caribbean Cocktail, pineapple, coconut, strawberry, and banana, by Humble Forager. They're an independent craft brewery, and they make some really good kind of these really good drinks. It's almost like a smoothie kind of thing. It's good. It's not thick like a smoothie, but it's like got that taste of like a fruit smoothie. But it's always nice to have a good drink around while painting your minis. Keeps the creative juices flowing. So what's everybody got going on in hobby world? What have we been up to? I mean, I know we talked, Wheeling Dragon was talking about prepping for a session. RPG Grandma, what's next on the list of things for you? What are you what are you gonna come out with next, I wonder? We're just gonna put a little bit. I start with literally a drop or two of paint. We see how far that goes. I don't need a ton paint for this, especially since I'm using a dry palette. I don't really use a wet palette on the show because I'm not painting for a long enough period to kind of warrant that. Just a little bit of water on the brush, thin this down with. Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna make a point. I'm kind of just freehanding these guys on their shoulder pads. That's fine by me. Since I've got so many of them to do, I'm just gonna give it my best freehand and work from there. So one thing I did was some trim on his legs here. Got to play first edition D&D on Sunday night. Really fun. Cool. Behind on everything, says RPG Grandma. I can relate. I can very much so relate. And Wheeling Dragon is excited for that session. And I would be too. I look forward to the role-playing stuff I do. Just going around on his leg here, kind of. Since most of this character is predominantly like this taupe white, I'm not too afraid here to add little bits of color here and there, but maintain that white throughout the model. It's alright if we have a misstroke or two. We can come back around with the same color. Kind of blend it in. I was showing off last night how if you have a little mistake, you can just hide it with a bit of stippling. Blend it in. It's a bit more egregious when you do the airbrush thing, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, and like, if you just take that same color you were using and bring it back onto the model, it'll cover it up just fine. It's a little bit of extra effort, but like, for me, that's how I show my best work, is that I went back and kind of cleaned up those bits. But if you're just going for tabletop ready, you definitely do that. You can leave behind a little bit. Nobody's gonna see it. If you're looking at it from far away, you're not gonna see that. And that's just fine. I'm gonna go, let's see. Okay, then we had his gloves and his like belt area that were red as well for our kind of master model. So we'll do up his belt. Kind of his buckle. There we go. And then the little grommets on his gloves, I think, were red as well. Yeah, they are. So we're gonna do that up. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just little extra splashes of color here, because the reference photos, he is very all white going on there. Alright. So I think that's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of tighten up his shoulder pad here a little bit. Okay, cool. And we're gonna just assembly line these guys as much as I can. Very cool. Put together 20 female cultists from the Frostgrave box. Nice. First edition is fun, says RPG Grandma. I'd like to try it someday. I have yet to experience the wonder and delight of the old school RPGs. I got a chance to play in Kevin from the Redcaps. I got a chance to play in his game that was kind of very loose on the Beck-Me stuff. But he said it wasn't really true Beck-Me. We were just kind of having more of a narrative game, which I enjoyed. I like the storyline stuff very much. Again, I'm not too worried about missed brush strokes here. I'm just more or less worried about getting the paint on the model. Have I ever seen Labyrinth? Like Pan's Labyrinth? That one I've wanted to watch, but I haven't actually gotten around to it. I'd like to, though. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Trying to keep a nice steady hand here as we go through and do some of this smaller trim bits. Oh, fun. That sounds like a good time, RPG Grandma. Oh, Jim Hanson's Labyrinth. No. No, I haven't. I will put that one on my list, though, of things to watch. I have my own kind of personal list of stuff that I'd like to see. And I will make sure that it gets put on there. Because it sounds intriguing, especially if it was done by Jim Hanson. Looks like we might have a little bit more cleanup work than I bargained for. My brush hit his leg at some point. It's alright, we'll make it work. The last kind of movie, I guess, that I've seen that would be in that style has been Mad God by Phil Tippett. And that was a trip. Holy man, what a trip Mad God was. I enjoyed it thoroughly, but it was discomforting. It was... if somebody had made pain into something you could visually experience, that's where I'd put that. But ridiculously captivating and just a feast for the eyes. It's like old school stop motion. And Phil Tippett worked on the original Star Wars, I believe. And his stop motion stuff is just ridiculously beautiful. So I really enjoyed it. It was, again, kind of unsettling. One of those things you can't unsee, but Very well done. Didn't really have a storyline. It was just kind of, well, it had some storyline, but very, very different style film. What's going on, Joop Joop Rocket? Heyo. Ooh, Dark Crystal. That's a throwback. I love me some Dark Crystal. That is old school, and I'm all for it. We're kind of doing we're doing up Moon Men tonight. These kind of Space Marine style guys. They're not like Warhammer Space Marines, but we're doing they're from Wolfenstein, but I guess these are kind of their outer space soldier dudes on the moon. So pretty heavy focus on white. I'm just free-handing these shoulder bits the best I can. I'm going to come through with the original color and clean them up too when we're all done. Joop Joop, what have you been working on? Tell me about it, Stephanie. I'm curious. What has been new with Joop Joop Rocket and your beautiful illustrations? If you guys don't know, Stephanie was the illustrator at Claricon, one of the two illustrators, and her artwork is just fantastic. So if you have some free time, go and check out Joop Joop Rocket. Had 3 weeks of hell. Okay. Just busy out in the world, or whatnot, maybe? I'm not sure. Moving back to Thunder Bay, okay. Well, I wish you the best in your move. Hope it goes easy for you. Moving can be a tough thing. We're gonna go back and touch all of these guys up, so I'm just trying my best to follow these lines. It's literally just a brush edge we're using. It's the finest point I can get. Hey. Yeah, let me know, Wheeling Dragon. And I still have to get in contact with you too on Discord. Oh man. Getting swamped over here. It's on my back list of things to do though. I am gonna do it. I'm gonna get in touch with you about your resin stuff. I thought those were like super cool. They're really cool. Mythos, if you're still in here, how has your Custodes been doing? Are they a bit further along now? I'm sorry I haven't gotten a chance to catch up on my Frost and Fist lately. At least as much as I'd like to. Just getting his little arm cuffy cuffs. There we go. Okay, cool. We should start flying here when we get to the other colors, because there just isn't a ton of them to put on. So that was 1 drop of paint, essentially did 4 models when you thin it out. there's a decent amount that dries on the palette, but again, it just doesn't make sense to use a wet one for me, since I'm going to be switching colors here essentially after this next model. We'll tighten up these shoulder pads too when we come back with our original color. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Wheeling Dragon. Much appreciated. Almost there with these guys. At least for the red. The red's the hard bit. Just because I wanted the really cool kind of trim on their legs to stand out. That's kind of always fun to try and pick out really thin details to throw paint on. It's a little tedious, but it looks kind of impressive, especially on the tabletop. We have one more guy to go in red, and then we're going to switch this kind of medical blue color. I saw that they had this going on in the reference art that I was using, and I thought it was kind of a cool contrast between the white, this kind of, it's the same color as my gloves essentially, but I wanted to incorporate that into the mini. So I've been kind of thinking about it. I think I'm going to leave the Halo stuff for a little bit later on. There's a couple more projects once we get done with Wolfenstein here that I want to put on the chopping block first for PML. And you let me know what you think, but I've been thinking that I'm going to push Halo, and I'll show the box again. It's really cool. I'm really pumped about it. I haven't even opened it yet, but I wouldn't mind a little input. But I'm thinking we have some models for the Dungeon Minister, who might be lurking, might be in the chat still. But we have some really cool minis. I'll just show off a few of them. One of them is already finished, but I'm not sure I want to put that out into the world yet. But we have some foot soldiers that I think are really cool. And these guys, because I sent the Horde of the Damned off to him. I thought, and he was saying that he didn't quite have enough like human, like soldier models to kind of like fight them, or kind of put to the field, so to speak. So I reached out to another 3D printer, 3D printing company, and they had these wonderful miniatures from Highland Miniatures, which I believe is the same sculptor that made the original Horde. I have these wonderful kind of soldier models. So I'd like to ideally get some of those guys, get them finished and out the door on their way up to Canada. As well as the catapult, which I haven't shown off here yet, but I do have a catapult that I have... okay. Looks like these guys are throwing off the focus a little bit, so we're gonna... Yeah, there we go. But I do have a catapult that I've cut on the laser cutter. It's all made out of like craft plywood. Essentially is what I like to cut on there. I might actually need some retarder at some point here, like retarder medium for the paint. We have this a dehumidifier down here, and it's kind of to speed up the paint drying process so I can get through layers quicker, but sometimes it works against me, like in this situation right here. But I'm kind of thinking that one I'd like to do first, and then we'll go ahead and get onto the Halo stuff, because that's gonna probably draw some attraction. Does this need more water? What's going on here? It's just drying on the tip of the brush a bit too quick. Okay, yeah, it's just needs a bit more water. There we go. Always important to thin your paints. If you want to, kind of grow as a painter, doing miniatures, thinning your paints is huge, because you get some detail from the manufacturer. That's kind of what you pay for. But if you're going to cover that up with thick paint, it's not going to look quite as nice. Highly recommend you thin your paints, at least a little bit. This is a tough show here. His foot is, or like his leg is bent back in just a position where trying to finish this trim is a little tricky. It's okay. We have 9 live chat lounge cats watching. I hope everybody out there is doing well. For those of you who are not quite yet live chat lounge cats, welcome, welcome. So now we just have to kind of go back and take our original color and we'll stipple that kind of in there. I think we were using, ivory from Pro Acryl, and that kind of gave us this very nice off-white color. It's not quite white, it's off-white. Just gonna handshake this one. Yeah, let's check out, kind of do like a little interim here. Check out the Halo Flashpoint box. Since Mantic is part of Team PML, the only thing I can do, is give them a shout out every now and then. But this is Mantic's newest foray, Halo Flashpoint. It's really cool. It's a tabletop skirmish game that's super easy to pick up and play, kind of difficult to master. Got a lot of tactics that you can employ, but you essentially face off it's like kind of a training scenario between super soldiers, and there's 2 teams of them, and they're fighting kind of the standard Halo multiplayer game battles from the video games, if you're familiar. If you're not, it's kind of like, it's kind of fun. It's like It's a shooter game kind of thing. And then there's also other enemies in this particular box. There's the alien elites, which are the evil aliens, and you fight them. So that's kind of fun. I'm happy that your hiccups are gone there, Cal. That's always good. I'm not a fan of them myself. All right. Let's get some of our ivory on our palette here as I switch out the camera again. Oh man, that's great! Mythos! So, for those of us out there that might not know, yeah, there was the Halo fandom stretches far and wide, and there was this comedy show that was actually done up in the Halo games called Red vs. Blue. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of funny. It's its own brand of humor, and I think that's awesome. I think that is awesome. The cast of Spartans from Red vs. Blue. That is really cool, Mythos. I think that's a wonderful idea. I'm not sure what mine are gonna be. I feel like I want to do, kind of a hot take on the Red versus, not the Red versus Blue show, but Red versus Blue color schemes, and have the red team be all warm colors, but it's not all of them. Not all of them are going to be red, and then have the blue team be all of the cool colors, blues and kind of like purplish thing going on. So I haven't quite decided, but that might be the road I go. All right, I'm going to get some water on my brush, and we'll kind of give this paint a quick thin down. It should be more than enough. Yeah, that's good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get, this is our original color here, and it's going to come, since the airbrush put it on in such a way where we're leaving behind a lot of the shadows, we're going to kind of stipple this on. This is going to be pretty concentrated. We're just kind of tricking the brain into not really noticing that as much. When it dries, it should look quite nice. Yeah, now I'm just kind of looking for small mistakes here and there that I can pick out and kind of bring back into spec. It's like little dabs will do you kind of trick here. Yeah. I think the elites I kind of want to do in like a Halo 1 style where they're blue. Kind of their blue armor. I think that'd be really cool. I think this guy I didn't do too bad on, so we'll leave him basically as is. Let's go find out where else. There's a little bit here. So when you're doing kind of this patch repair, and I don't think I can get any closer if I can't. Well, yeah, you can see it now, but like when you're doing this patch repair, I tend to spread the actual patch out. So if you look in this area here, I just started using downstrokes to kind of blend it in. And now from the distance that I'm viewing it, you can barely see it. And your mind kind of gets tricked that it's not there, especially when viewed at that kind of distance. Shoulder pad, I'm just gonna try and get a nice line in on. Same thing with over here. It's really easy to kind of fudge the trim, so to speak. Put a little bit too much paint on there. I think we're gonna clean up this line here too. That looks fine. The rest of this guy is looking pretty a-okay. Very nice. This guy got a little bit of fun shenanigans to clean up. It's just kind of going over these raised edges a bit, hiding these little over strokes. Yeah, here, so this is a pretty egregious little mistake that you can see. We're gonna try and kind of just blend that in a little bit. You don't even have to color cover the whole color or whatever mistake that happened. You just have to kind of feather it out, so to speak. And now you and I can see that because this is zoomed in times a million, but like when you zoom out, would you really be able to tell that there was accidentally a splotch of red there? Like, mistakes happen, and it's not, you're not a bad painter for having a misstroke. Like, all you gotta do is just kind of cover it up in a way that tricks the brain into not thinking it's there. Half of this stuff is illusion anyways. So I'm going to do the same thing here with this little bit. It's like this kind of area. And I'm just going to start pulling the paint down in a way. We're definitely going to cover that area, but we're also going to cover a couple areas around it so that it looks a bit more, yeah. And then when you zoom out again, so everybody get ready to, woo, here we go. There we go, yeah. So now when you look at it like that, it looks like it's a very nice, clean, crisp line. And that was kind of my whole point on that. We'll bring you a little bit closer, and there we are. All right, so this guy's looking nice. We'll go ahead and we got just 2 more to go. We got 8 folks watching PML right now. Thanks for being here, everybody. Alright, so I'm just gonna fix this trim here. Even if this line isn't super straight, it'll be enough. Oof. A little bit too much there. I might have to go back with the red, but that's alright. Kind of wandering between colors here. We will figure it out as we go. Okay. There we go. All these guys look nice with their red trim going on. I think a couple of them I missed the belt buckle part of this on, so we'll go through and kind of make them uniform again. I think a lot of other painters do. Mythos, do you do, kind of patch and repair style thing going on with your minis too? When you're doing your 40K stuff, do you kind of come back with the previous color and tighten up certain areas? I feel like that's kind of common, or at least yeah, I think that's pretty common for most mini painters out there. Yeah, right? You know, you can, it's a time efficiency thing for me. Like, I mean, I know that going back and, you know, redoing the same color is like a bit of extra work, but it makes everything come out clean. Makes it look really nice. And that's kind of why I do it. Maybe just a little bit more. I want to tighten up this little area on this guy. It's probably out of shot too, but that's all right. Okay, so we have our Space Marine guys here done in red. Now we're gonna go ahead and kind of transition here. I think we're gonna do the blue bits, and then we'll work on gray because that's kind of like the last color, and there's only a little bit of gray on them. And we should be basically kind of done with the Moon Men. There's a couple stragglers that I haven't primed yet, or we're only partially primed because I just ran out of steam that night. So we'll probably end up doing those guys at another time. Hey, thank you very much for hanging out with us there, Wheeling Dragon. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. So here's our bright jade, and if we take a look at our master model, so to speak, we're gonna see kind of the entire color scheme. You guys apparently have to be off screen for this camera to realize what it wants to focus on, but this is kind of our master model here, and this is kind of all of the rough areas that we've got going on. Trying to figure out how I'm going to wash this guy, because, you know, it's a very clean aesthetic since it's in space, but this looks a little too clean. So we're going to have to figure out some kind of wash to put over these guys, I think. But it's kind of this medical blue, same color as my gloves, you know, or the closest I could find anyways. My collection was this jade. I could do a custom color mix, but to be honest, when you're doing painting like this and you've got a whole bunch of these guys to do, it's just easier to grab a bottle. And I'm not, you know, I know that some folks out there, you're going to have to do your own custom mix because you don't have bright jade in your collection. That's okay, like, do it up. Just make sure you take some notes. And I'm really bad at taking notes on my colors, on my, like, painting and stuff. Recently, I've been using an app called Brush Rage. If you got Android, I know there's one for Apple too. I'm sure if you looked up like miniature painting on the App Store, or better yet, go check out HOUND's Armory and ask him in his comments section on one of his videos, what app do you use to track your paints and like your painting stuff. I'll show you what Brush Rage is real quick. This is the kind of Android version, but I really have been enjoying that for a couple of projects. So I haven't been using Brush Rage here for the actual like Wolfenstein stuff yet. I should be, but I'm not going to, because so far I've mentally been able to keep track of the colors I'm using. But you can kind of see I made a project called Wolfenstein, and then we got hounds and whatnot, soldiers, and like if I were to click play, it'll start tracking the time that I'm using to paint this. So it can kind of help me with you know, doing you know, if I needed to charge by the hour for a commission project, this is how I do it. Now we have a different project up here that I didn't really want to talk about, but we'll talk about it. So here we've got a custom character mini And I've got all my colors here from Monument Hobbies. It shows kind of some of the work time on it that it took to finish. It was about 3 hours worth of paint time on the shelf, and then we go through and you can see these were all the colors that I wanted to take note of that I used on the model. Kind of where from start to finish, I kind of did it left to right. So these were all the colors, and depending on the layers. And they've got other brands in here. It's not just Monument. They've got P3. They got basically anything you can think of. Here I have some reference images too. So this is direct from the Dungeon Minister and one of his videos. This is the city that they're dealing with. What I really wanted was the color of the shield, so that I could try and color match with this gold and warm yellow. So you can kind of see that there. And then I also kind of wanted to take some inspiration too, because this is a black paint job. So I kind of wanted to see how other folks were doing these cloths and folds and dragon stuff. Yeah, it's called Brush Rage. And then I started taking pictures kind of as the mini developed. So see here, this was kind of after step 1 was completed, and I just wanted to take note of where some of these were, like where it was in the process, so that I could remember which colors I was using at the time. Here's another picture of it partway through where I started adding gray as an undertone for some of the yellow bits. And then this was actually the first picture with the horse kind of thing going on. But you can take pictures and kind of follow your stuff. There's also like a comment section, so you can say like, I used yellow on these places, blah, blah, blah. You can add a picture and kind of remind yourself what's going on there. Really nice if you have a lot of projects going in parallel. And then like literally a to-do list, and it gives you, I don't have the to-do list thing in here, but you can take this to-do list and it gives you like little things to check off. And then there's linked collections, so like you can kind of go to your paint library, and I don't have mine set up, but you could go and have like you can have your paint library somewhere in here that shows all of your colors and how many of those colors you have. So that's kind of cool. It's been an interesting tool. I need to use it a bit more, but I should probably use it a lot more. That way I can give more accurate counts on like how long some of these paint ups take. But that's enough chin wagging. We're gonna get to a little more painting. Yeah, Brush Rage. It's super cool. I can't remember off the top of my head who made it, but whoever they are like, they're really cool. They're cool people. Cool people making cool stuff, and I hope they keep updating it too. It's free. You can just get it. You don't even have to pay for it, which is nuts. And they push out these updates for it. Honestly, I feel like I need to go and donate something to this person at when I have a little bit of extra free funds. I'm gonna go donate a couple bucks, because I think that app is worth way more than a couple bucks. But I should probably do that just to help support them in supporting Brush Rage. Heck, go ahead and tell them PML sent you. So we've got some of this blue here. We're just gonna kind of do the tough bits first. We're gonna get the fingers. Doing the fingers is fun, because I really don't want to hit any of the other colors or any of the bits. Very nice. just gonna reform the point on my brush here. Let's see, so for our master model, we've got the gloves and then kind of this neck piece. It would seem as this blue. I'm just trying and get some of that going. Cool beans. So that's kind of the scheme we're going here for, friends. Gonna need to do some touch-up work on some of these guys, I'm sure. My hand's getting a little unsteady. I'm working hard out here in the world of Paint Minis Live. It's like I could use a vacation. But there is no rest for the wicked. Kind of just using the dome of his helmet here as a stability point for my brush hand. One of my, I'm a big proponent of move the model, not your brush hand, like as much as you can, because naturally we just kind of want to pull down. That's like our big thing as monkeys, like just pull down on the little tool. For whatever reason, at least that's how my brain works. And if I'm sitting there kind of doing this thing, like it just doesn't feel natural. But I can like kind of anchor, I can anchor my elbow on my desk, like this. And I've got this part of support. And then I've got the bit with the mini in it. This can move around freely. I can do whatever I want with this. This, on the other hand, if I want to make precise, little touches, I'm gonna have this one point of contact on my desk edge, and then I'll use my pinky or maybe two fingers even, and I'll start to I'll hold the model still in kind of a clamp, and then I'll go to work painting. And most of the time, either you can only do a little bit of minuscule movement left and right with a high degree of accuracy, but you can pull up and down with a really good amount of accuracy. So I tend to kind of go down that path, and just try and find spots that I can hit on the mini. And as you can see, we're hitting all the right places and saving ourselves a little bit of time by just employing some of these techniques. When I paint off stream, I'll often find myself getting really close to the mini too. And I think that's just my eyeballs doing their thing, but I have a bit harder time using a magnifier. I know some people swear by like those electronics glasses that you can get at like electronic stores and stuff. I have not found a great experience with them. Some folks really like them. I just use kind of a clamp-on desk magnifier if I really need something like that. And that works for me. But Do what works for you. That's my motto. Okay. Who hasn't gotten their blue? Okay, all three you have. I think we're gonna kind of get through this blue step and call it. Yeah, Mythos. I love that song. That's one of my favorites. I really do. The fact that it was in Borderlands was great. Printed out some paper minis, hopefully to the right scale. Desert and jungle pulp Africa stuff. Fun. Mythos, I'm assuming you've already found Brush Rage. And I wish you all the best with it. It's a wonderful tool. I just have to remember to use it. Otherwise, I can send you a link too. I'll send you a link to it if you need it. There's a lot of painters out there that say if you can't see it, don't paint it. I've seen that kind of all over the board, but to me, even if I can, if I'm not going to see it from the tabletop, I do like to paint it. Just because you never know, if you're going to have somebody really scan out your model and, bring it all the way up to their face. Most people don't, but I really like to have my work look the best that I can possibly make it. That's just kind of my style. If I decide I'm going to do something, I do it with as much gusto as I can. Prepping dinner. What are we having for dinner, RPG Grandma? I watched you make, was it like enchiladas? I feel like it was like enchiladas or something, but I watched one of your cooking videos a while back, and if I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I would love to come over and try your cooking. It looked really good. I had a lot of fun kind of watching your process. Sorry, I'm just kind of focusing in here as we get to some of these back bits, trying to keep it all clean and tidy so I don't have to work on doing it all over again, but I'm not going to be a huge stickler. We'll just cheese it if we need to. Very nice. I think these guys are turning out quite well. Fajitas! Fajitas sound really good. I feel like I keep putting colors on these guys, but I think between the red, the blue, and the gray, they'll be fine. I think it's just selecting the right wash to put on these guys that's going to be the tough part. But I feel like even though I keep adding more and more colors, that they look really good with just a simple color scheme. In my mind, anyways. I think they look good with just a couple of colors on them in the right places. And if I add too much more, I'm gonna kind of lose that character that they have of being space, essentially walking spacesuits is what these guys are in my mind. Well, they're dudes in spacesuits, but I kind of picture those like NASA suits At least that's kind of what the character art that I was looking at bring to mind, kind of those big, white, bulky spacesuits. These are a bit more ergonomic, but... and they really don't have a ton of color on them. They're mostly just straight white. I don't really want to lose that feeling that these guys are legitimate space guys. It's kind of their job, is to run around and patrol the moon base. Okay. I think we got one last dude to do in the blue, and then do a little bit of touch-up. And we'll probably close there, and I'll do the gray next session. We'll finish up the Moon Men proper, and then it's kind of back to priming more minis. And we have some like regular foot soldiers to do, some dudes that are on the ground, so to speak. There's some of those guys to do too, but we have 7 live chat lounge cats that are hanging out with us tonight. Thanks for being here, friends. Just kind of, we're doing some moon troopers. I'm not sure exactly what they're called in the game, but we're doing some moon trooper guys from Wolfenstein here. For anybody that's just kind of hopping in and wondering what we're painting. I took a look at the kind of character art for these guys, and they had like this medical blue thing going on in certain parts of their uniform, so that's kind of what we're doing here. And I think they're turning out pretty well. Hey, very cool. Very cool. I hope you have a wonderful painting session there, Calvinoni. It's always fun to see your creations on the PML Discord and to kind of see what you've been up to. I gotta have you on the show at some point too to talk about your hobby experience a bit. There's so many people I gotta have on. Now that I'm kind of getting back to streaming, I've got a backlog of guests that I should get in contact with. Plus, it made me realize when I had Laz over how convenient it was to have somebody to talk to the audience a little bit while I ran off and was able to take a washroom break. Because, I mean, even though it's like, you know, I can pull it off, it's like, I don't really want to have a ton of dead air time, you know, and just leave folks hanging with nothing to do. So, here's as our camera is focusing on the exact opposite, here's our last kind of Space Marine guy that we've got. He looks half bad. A little bit of touch-up work to do, but it'll be fine. It'll be fun. Thank you very much. Appreciate the compliments. We're at about an hour and 15 in. I think this has been a productive session. So I think I'm just gonna take the last 15 because I'm getting wiped doing these workouts and kind of just life in general here. I think I'm gonna use the last kind of 15 minutes of the stream to just chat it up and talk with you fine folks out here. You don't want P-Minis live? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But I think so far our Moon Men are turning out quite nice. So how's a you know how's everybody been out there? I think we kind of already covered that question. That's kind of my go-to when I'm I don't really have a huge subject to talk about. But uh, as far as PML goes, we've got the Wolfenstein stuff we're doing now. Then we're gonna go ahead and do some stuff for you there, Dungeon Minister. I think after we're done with that, then we'll hit the Halo stuff, and I'm gonna make that like a really big production. I'm gonna go out of my way, I think, on the Halo stuff. I usually don't do videos here on PML because it's Paint Minis Live. It's kind of in the name. Um, so that's for the OnlyFans channels, this Frost and Fists. Um, but yeah, so oh yeah, that sounds like fun. Cal working out in the cold. Yeah, I'm sure that would be that definitely zaps you. I hear that. Um, RPG Grandma's just super busy. The Dungeon Ministers having a diocesan meeting. So yeah, I'm sure that's a lot of pomp and circumstance, maybe a little bit. That's at least my assumption here. So go ahead and let me know if I'm totally wrong about that. Also seems like something that would be really paperwork heavy. Um, but yeah, for the Halo stuff, I'm thinking about actually putting out a couple videos. And it's not like I'm against doing the video part. It's just I like to devote most of my time to the live streaming stuff because it's like the most entertaining for me since I get to, talk with all of you fine folks and, kind of interact with the community a bit more in a livelier manner than the video side of things. Another thing too is I haven't done a ton of video editing in like a long time, and so I'll have to kind of like brush up on that. Um, and I think we can make something really cool out of the Halo series, but I want it to be since it was like a big part of my life in like childhood. It was the first like big video game that I played when I was a kid, and before that, I think I had kind of played a little bit of I don't even remember. I think it was like some games like what was it? Not Tiny Warriors. Oh man, what's that old movie with there's little like GI there's like a GI Joe group, and they're alive because some toy company put like military grade knockoff chips or something in their toys. And then there's like Gulgathor or something like that. And they're kind of part of the nature guys, and they're having this war going on. Anyways, if you know the movie I'm talking about, it was like back in the early 2000s, I think. Um, I totally lost my train of thought because I really love that movie. I want to watch it again, and if you know the name of it, I would be grateful. But yeah, I forgot why I was going to talk about that. Beyond the fact that uh, yeah, it's just really cool. I again totally lost my train of thought here. What do you know? This is why it's all live. Um, Pomp would be fun. This is more sitting and listening to a 4 hour lecture. Okay, all right. Very nice there, Dungeon Minister. Um, oh yeah. That's why I was talking about these. I think it's Tiny Soldiers or something like that. Was the name of the movie? But anywho, um, I that was like one. They had a video game for the PlayStation One. I played that like a little bit, but I never really had the chance to like actually have a gaming console. And then the Xbox, the original Xbox came out, and I begged, and I did so many chores. Like it was It was good. It was good. I worked my butt off, and my parents caved, and they were like, "Yeah, so your birthday's kind of out of the question this year, but like we got you the thing." And they told me on my birthday, but it was a Christmas present because it wasn't like they were gonna pick it up then. So and I got a copy of Halo with it because I'd been over to my uncle's house and played it there, and I just absolutely fell in love with like destroying aliens. And so Halo was a big part of my life, and I really want to do it the kind of homage that I want to do it because it's kind of sentimental to me, and I think it would be really cool to produce some like high quality videos and do like some have some backdrops. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I might have to go to like a printer or like a print center or something and have them print out like really cool Halo backdrops and stuff that I could put the models behind and make like shorts and stuff. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be a full blown uh, Paint Minis Live fangirl situation over here when the Halo stuff starts coming out of the box. We're gonna do an unboxing. I mean, yeah, again, it's one of those things. If you are super into like Star Wars or something and you get your hands on some new Star Wars thing and you get that like really excited thing going on, um kind of liken that to this. I really freaked out when I opened that box up and I saw that it was in there. I was like, "Oh, yes. Yes." Um Hugs from RPG Grandma for Dungeon Minister's pain of priests should pray and read the Bible from Dungeon Minister. Yeah, I think that would be that would be a tough lecture to sit at or sit through, I guess. Uh I'm it's kind of funny. I went back to church I'm not to bring like I'm not going to talk about anything super religion specific, but I went back to my home church for the Sunday that I was up in back in my hometown for the firefighting physical practice test, and it's kind of fun. It's a huge community center, and I think one of the reasons why and it brought this thought to mind while I was there, but like one of the reasons why I'm a huge proponent in supporting people that promote our hobby and kind of go and create stuff for like if it's model painting or role playing games or um building Battlestar models, whatever, those people that do that and bring folks into the hobby. I think as I was there, I realized that the church was kind of like a community center, and the hobby in itself is kind of a community center where it draws people together from many different walks of life just to have a good time in a very open space that's away from it's a little bit escapism, but it's away from our normal daily lives in something that we can totally engross ourselves in for just a little while, and like we're all having a good time, and we don't really have to worry about all of the stuff that goes on around us for just a little bit, and we get to meet new friends and have great conversations with folks and all of those things um, that kind of that can be barriers for folks to socialize and meet up and talk. Those things kind of lift out from 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 the conversation, and so all of those walls kind of come down, and the gates kind of raise, and we're all having a good time, and it's just good-hearted fun, and I really enjoy that aspect of this hobby, and all of the fine folks that I get to meet through the live chat, through Discord, and like speak with. Some of them, I get to actually see them in real life, like that. That's always really cool. Um, but that's kind of my 2 cents on why I think the hobby is important. Uh, tell us how you how you really feel there, Dungeon Minister. Very good. Um, yeah, I'm excited to I think once these guys are all painted up and finished, there's how many models are left here? Because there's terrain and other stuff in this box, and I just don't think I'm gonna get to the terrain part of this. They have like just kind of for a talking point here. I mean, there's an entire bag of bits in here that are all terrain markers and like things for the game. Um, I'm not sure how much of this I'm gonna get to because there's just so much of it. And to paint it to a good quality standard is gonna be a little tough. I think I am gonna try. There's like hallways and things in the uh, that are in the box. I took them out for now. Those I could probably get to and just kind of do a. I mean, we're gonna do good work. Don't get me wrong, but we're gonna kind of make those a little bit of a. We're gonna make those maybe kind of like a tricolor dry brush situation and make them look nice that way. We have like there's some officers in here in this box. Let's just kind of get a quick picture. Um, isn't that the case? Isn't that the case? Oh boy. Oh, so we're gonna get like I'm just gonna show a couple of quick things here with this. Um, let's back this bad boy out. But so we have like there's still everything in red essentially, and the blue characters too. We're gonna do those up as well. But we have the model count is slowly starting to dwindle. But it looks like we have some officer types here that we can paint up. These guys are going to be kind of interesting. Is he holding a heart? Is that like a human heart? I think he's literally holding somebody's heart. That's that's nuts. So some more ooey gooey model painting. It looks like that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think overall though, we're kind of getting to the midway point on this. Once we have some more of these soldiers done, I have no idea how I'm gonna actually paint up these drones. They're like little FPV looking drones with machine guns or something. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get those guys painted because I want their bases to remain clear. But I think we kind of have we kind of are hitting that halfway point, so I'm happy to hear that. This project was a little bit intimidating when I first opened it up. I was like, "Holy man, this is gonna be a lot of paint time." Um, oh man. Well, nothing like your boss telling you to keep doing a good job. I guess if he doesn't have anything to, you know, if he doesn't have more to talk about, I guess at least we're all, you guys are all doing a good job there, Dungeon Minister. That's good to hear. Um, but yeah, I gotta hand it to Brian. He told me I had my work cut out for me, and I was like, I will be able to smash through that real quick. No, no, he was right. We had our work cut out for us when it came to this Wolfenstein project. But I have been liking it. I started off with Warhammer 40K. We did some of these like Poxwalker guys in some of the very early stages of the show. Um, we did up these Poxwalkers, and they turned out really well. We also did some Plague Marines. I think I put the Plague Marines upstairs, but like these guys turned out really well, and they're kind of part of that 40K universe, super grimdark kind of thing going on. If you want to take a look at that, we've got that's deep in the archives for the Poxwalkers. But um, I really enjoy doing up some 40K stuff, some of the sci-fi things, and this is really scratching that itch. I think the Halo stuff will too. We've been doing a lot of kind of fantasy stuff, um, like on PML recently. Another kind of fun one is this like dragon that I got at Claricon. I'm just gonna point this guy. I'm not sure if this is actually from 1983, but it says 1983 on the actual cast. It's from Essex Miniatures. Um, and I guess it's pretty old, but like, yeah, you can see. Let's see. Come on, come over here. Yeah, you can see 1983 on the bottom of that. I'm not sure if that's when the mold was produced or if that's when this miniature was run or what, but it's a very old school looking thank you very much there, Mythos. Much appreciated. I'm kind of keen on the Poxwalkers myself. I really like the ones that aren't the weird kind of pink and like flesh tone ones. I wanted these guys to look like they had like super jaundice. And I think they turned out really well. But this dragon is like this really cool old school sculpt. Kind of reminds me of like uh there was like an old animation about a boy and a dragon. And I can't remember what it is, but it kind of reminds me of like those old school kind of animation ones. And this is just going to be for the personal collection for now. I've thought about painting this and putting it on the PML web shop. I haven't really made up my mind, but I think uh, I think this one might be just for personal. So we have that to look forward to as well. I like to kind of keep a smattering of different things going, just so I don't get um, I guess bored of painting one type of mini series, whether it's sci-fi or fantasy. It just kind of it keeps all of those muscles and different tricks that I've picked up on doing the two different kinds of modeling, like hard or model painting, I should say, between hard surface painting and then the more free flowing fantasy designs that are more organic shapes. That's the word. That's the word for today. Organic shapes. They pesticide free shapes. 1983 was when I started gaming, and when the first of the Beck Me box set came out, very cool. That was after the Mulvey stuff, right? Somebody was trying to school me on that a while back. I think it was Tonka Todd talking about the Mulvey stuff. RPG Grandma, the sci-fi stuff is fun. I couldn't agree more. I want to see more pictures of those spaceships. Like if you could just kind of drop some of those pictures of the spaceship fleets that you did, I'd love to see them. I think you've probably got maybe a video on it that I can go back and find. I'll have to do that because I saw some pictures of those spaceships and those were really cool. The kind of like fleet battle game that you were painting up. I thought that was like super cool. Um, okay. Yeah, I don't I is that a like a Facebook group because I don't really do Facebook. I've thought about it. I used to have a Facebook like a really long time ago. I don't even know how it works anymore. I basically got YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Instagram I haven't really touched in a while. I was gonna make that a priority at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, I'm leaving YouTube for just a little bit. I'm gonna focus on the Instagram thing. I had to kind of reassess that later on because I did start working on the web shop. Just after that, I was like really kind of contemplating a few different routes of how to spread the love of PML out to the world. But I never really got into Facebook. Okay, yeah, it's Facebook. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, yeah, very cool. Very cool. I'll look forward to seeing more pictures of the space fleet there, RPG Grandma. And yes, it was after Mulvey. Cool, cool. Um, I always yeah, Puff the Magic Dragon. There you go. Puff the Magic Dragon there by the sea. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, that it kind of reminds me of the like Puff the Magic Dragon for sure. Um, Lost Minis Wiki. Okay. I'm glad that you posted that here. I feel like there's a lot of folks that could probably utilize that if it's for like out of print models. Um, but I'm looking forward to painting up that dragon. every time every time I get a dragon and I want to paint it because the first dragon we did was the red dragon for Bill Sylvie over at the Dungeon Delver. He talks a lot about like old school RPGs and stuff, and he has a really cool like shelf full of minis. You'll find our dragon over there. You can ask him about it if you wanna. Um, but that was kind of like the first dragon I did. The second dragon was a thank you for kind of helping PML get on its feet because uh, he sent me that model and put a lot of trust in me. So I thought, hey, I may as well just I'll send him another one because I was at a hobby shop and I saw that they weren't moving this dragon for like months on end and they were marking it down. And I was like, man, if they're marking it down, at some point they're going to reach the precipice where they're going to be selling it at a loss. And I don't want to see that. So I picked it up. I was like, I can do this with an airbrush. It'll be, I've got the tools to do it. So I'll pick it up and do it. So we sent him a thank you dragon. That was number 2. But every time I do a dragon, it's always kind of like 10 hours of paint. It's never it's never like it's never just a 4-hour project and done. It's always like 10 hours of paint time. And I feel like this one's even though it's smaller than both of those dragons, I think it's still gonna take a decent amount of time to get that all taken care of. We're gonna be on for another probably about 5 or 10 minutes here, and we'll wrap it up. But it's been really fun seeing everybody in here and kind of catching up a bit. Fan 19, yeah, for sure. Um, but I think yeah, probably gonna be about at least 10 hours of paint on that SX1. And again, I haven't decided whether I'm gonna put that up for sale or if it's just gonna be private collection stuff. Um, I don't really do a lot of tabletop gaming right now, mainly because I don't really have a group in the area to do that with. When I transplanted here from my hometown, I live in a different city now, and I kind of really didn't go back to the game shop. I went to a couple of game shops. I did do a live stream at a place called Dreamers Vault here in Minneapolis. Um, but I didn't get to meet any of the painters. It was really funny. They all had gone to a convention and they were like not gonna be there. So I didn't get to meet any of the painters, and I'm just sitting in this room that like they have specifically for like the wargaming stuff and 40K and all that other stuff. And it was like advertised as paint night, and nobody was there. I was like all alone, and I haven't really gone back. I might at some point just to like try and find some gamers and painters and whatnot. I really should maybe get out to some more of the local shops and give them some shout out and show their spaces because they're an important part of our hobby. Fan 19, yeah, it says that. It actually says that on the box here. I'll bring it up. Yeah, Fan 19. I don't know exactly what currency this was originally bought in, but yeah, Fan 19 is on the box. And it says it contains lead, not suitable for young children. So if I drill into this, I'm going to have to make sure that I have at least the fume extractor on here in the paint shop and make sure we don't get any of the lead in the air. But isn't this a very English address? Unit 1, Shannon Center, Shannon Square, Thames Estuary Industrial Estate, Canvey Island, Essex, SS8 0PE. This is where you can find your biscuits. But it was kind of something really cool. I was eyeballing it and wondering if anybody was going to take that from the little table of curiosities. It wasn't really little. It wasn't little. There was a ton of stuff on there, but Yeah, I was eyeballing that, and finally I broke down and had to go get it. Um, 15 or 16 pounds in the UK was the painting community in the shop that day. Yeah, I to be honest, this is kind of a hypothetical thing to throw out there, but I've been contemplating about doing like, I've always wanted to go and do like paint tutorials at a nursing home, but I feel like I feel like that wouldn't be very well. I don't think that would be such a hit. I definitely have to find, with like older folks that are having trouble already with like their hands and like visually, but I I think it's, I don't know. Maybe it would be something that I could like set up a projector and just entertain them with something cool to watch. But my dad was recovering from a broken ankle, and he had to be in a nursing home for a little bit. And I just remember that like he was just constantly bored. There really wasn't like a ton to do there. I mean, they had like these weird chair workout sessions and like maybe the odd occasional person come in and play a guitar or something, but like there really wasn't a ton to do there. And I kind of felt like, there's got to be something I can offer to that kind of community of people that would be entertaining that I could kind of go out there and do this with. So that's kind of been in the back of my head because the the older generation has like they still have a ton to offer, even though they're like they need a little extra help. They still have a ton to offer, and like they should heck, if I got the time and the ability, I'd love to go entertain them for a little bit and like maybe pick their brain. I don't know. Would that be something you guys would be interested in seeing? Like maybe some interviews with old school nerds. I could try and hunt down some old school nerds that are in the area and see if they'd want to talk gaming geekdom stuff or maybe just talk about life. Could be kind of fun. Uh, I'm always looking to see where I can take PML next and what's going to be kind of interesting and out of the box instead of just kind of the same thing over and over again. Uh, Let me know your thoughts on that one, either in the PML Discord or you know uh, here in the live chat or in the comments too. Let me know what you think about that idea. Is there a date on the box? There is not a date on the box. There's a date on the miniature. It says 1983, but that could have been again when the actual when the mold was created. I'm not sure, but I don't see a date on the box anywhere. It just has the actual model number Fan 19 and then Essex Dragon with a green sticker. Not I don't really see a date on there. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. Mythos. I know at one point you guys were talking about Frost and Fisticon. Uh, if you ever are thinking about doing that, you let me know. I'd love to come and hang out. Uh, and make that a trip. The active old nerds are on YouTube or Facebook. Got it. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun to maybe pick the brain of some of the uh, some of the elder members of society, though, while I paint some models. I think that would be kind of interesting. Uh, I'll have to put that one on the shelf of interesting ideas to contemplate later. Their address hasn't changed. They're still at the same address? Really? Okay. Dungeon Minister is going hardcore on where this Essex model came from. Thank you very much for helping me out. I had no idea they were still potentially even in business. Um, yeah, for sure. Uh, I would definitely like to do that. I'm kind of in the middle of hopefully a career change if things work out. Um, but maybe sometime next year we can talk a little bit about making a trip to Frost and Fist HQ and doing some fun stuff. I think that'd be a great time. There's a couple places I'd like to see along the way too, so I can make a trip out of that. Um, yeah, it might have painted some Civil War stuff. I like it's interesting to hear about how wargaming has changed. I mean, heck, even talking to Uncle Brat who brought up pardon me, talking to Uncle Brat who brought up Jotun was the name of the game. And it's literally supposed to be played on the floor. It is so massive that you need to play this on a floor or like in a barn. And you play with their like battleship tiles essentially, and you're playing a giant game of battleship essentially, but with like with more rules and some dice stuff going on. And it was I think it was um, I can't remember who manufactured that, but it was really cool to kind of hear about that and like how they used to use sand tables as well, which was a big thing. Where it's like a little sand, it's a sandbox, and you place your little Napoleon guys on there, and then you kind of maneuver them around, and it's like they have their own terrain that they build prior to the game. The culture has really kind of been interesting to see how that has changed since I've been made aware of some of the older school war games and how they work and how they were played. I'm sure there's still folks out there that are really into that. I just have not done further research on it. Teach them to play. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Like a golden oldies RPG. That could Miss Bella Games. Hello, hello. Good to see you again. Good to see you again. Um, Whoa, that's nuts. Somebody wants to run war games at Claricon. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. A naval fleet wargaming book. Very nice. Very nice. I've kind of had a little bit of an inkling for some wargaming stuff. And especially like the naval stuff. I don't know why. The naval stuff looks really cool, and I would love to have some like naval miniatures kind of go down that path. I used to play a lot of uh, Star Trek Attack Wing, and it was kind of this. It was designed by Fantasy Flight, and you would use templates essentially to move your spaceships along the like the um, Enterprise D and the original Enterprise or whatever, and like you would move them around, and you would use a dial to pre-select your movement. There was no pre-measuring, but you would use the dial to select your movement and whatnot, and then you try and get the enemy into your firing arc and roll the dice to see if you hit them. Blah blah blah. But that was like I really like kind of some of those games. They scratch an itch for me. Something crazy. Yeah, a little birdie's been telling me a couple of things here and there, Dungeon Minister, about about a few things. I'm really excited to hear the news when you go and do some more official release stuff for that. So I'm keeping my eye out. Keeping my eye out. Uh, that's what Gary Gygax had in his basement, a sand table, because all they did was war games. Yeah, yeah, I've heard something like that too. Um, not I'm not 100% sure how that works for fantasy, but it would be kind of interesting to see how that would work out. It could be kind of cool to do a sand table. I wonder if they make green sand, but do a sand table and then like actually stick the trees in the table, and then maybe have like a smaller kind of encounter one. Maybe I could like custom build a small encounter sand table, bring it with me to a convention or something, and host a small game on a tiny sand table. I think that would be kind of a fun project to do. Check out Beat to Quarters. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. I will definitely put that on my list. Um, how to fight it out on your floor. It's like war gamer jujitsu. If you've got like playing Jotun. Oh, it tells you. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Jotun, how to fight on your floor, kind of thing. Gotcha. Okay. Um, that sounds super interesting. I, I've I have yet to find a copy of Jotun out in the wild, but it seems like a game that you would need in a lazy Sunday to play because or like consecutive days worth of play. It is not a let's sit down and play a round of Jotun. It's like okay, for the next 3 weeks everybody's gonna gather in this barn on Sunday night and play Jotun for 4 hours. And then we'll keep doing it over and over again, kind of Dungeons and Dragons style. Hey, take it easy, Calvinoni. Thanks again for joining us, as always. Speaking of which, we've got 12 live chat lounge cats hanging out with us here in the stream. It's wonderful to see everybody here at PML. I've kind of been done with painting. At this point, I'm just kind of waiting to finish my drink here, and then I'll probably be wrapping up soon. But we're just chit chatting on all things nerddom. I've been watching not Battlefleet, Battlestar Galactica, the newer remake of it, and I've been really enjoying that. It's kind of like my first foray into it, and I've gotten almost all the way to the end. Me and a buddy are watching it. I just like co-op style. We're sitting and watching it, and we've almost gotten to the end. But now I've started to go back and watch the original. It's really cool. Hey, what's going on, Nemar? Good to see you again. Thanks for coming and chilling with us. Make sure you get to bed on time for school. All right. um, Mini Warmut has entered the chat. Everyone, panic, run. Need to have a Sarlacc pit if you bring a sand table. That might be kind of fun. I haven't. I'm pretty sure there's some Star Wars RPG stuff out there, but I think it would be really cool to use like Star Wars Legion minis because they have an actual war game that's called Star Wars Legion, and it's super interesting to me. I'm not I'm not sure the success of it, but I hope it sticks around long enough that I can afford to actually buy some minis from it because the minis are really good, and I'd love to do like a um, Star Wars RPG kind of setting thing. Then you could just replace the green sand with like regular sand and make your Sarlacc pit. All you gotta do is stick like little uh I don't know what you'd put in there to actually make the Sarlacc part, but it would look really cool. It would look really cool to do some type of Sarlacc pit. That is a great idea there. Uh Mini Warmut. Play with cocktails. Yeah, there you go. Um but I think that would be really cool. I'm not sure if I would be able to do something on my laser cutter for that. I would probably have to just straight up use a chop saw and maybe get like a biscuit joiner and do some biscuit joints for like a portable sand table. But I think that would be really cool. Um, yeah, usually usually war games are a bit pricey to get into. They're tough. They can be tough. Um, Especially when you're talking about like 40K where it's like $50 for like five little dudes. And I'm hoping to change that in the future. Like the price of models, not for anybody else, but I've really been thinking that if I can grow PML and we can, collectively bring Paint Minis Live to a point where I'd have the working capital. I would like to get a small size injection molding machine and start to produce PML branded models. Hire a 3D modeler to do up the models. Um, I know of some reputable machine shops here that I could get a master mold created for these machines. I could also use the 3D printer too. There's some types of resins out there that actually could withstand, printing a couple hundred models. Um, And that would bring the cost down to like very low. And I'd like to start off with some goblins, like a little small box set of 4 goblins. I think would be kind of fun with a couple of different like weapon option arms, but having them be just kind of main body, like head, body, legs, couple different arms, and then it gets pressed. You have a sprue that pops out of there, and we could probably, do that on the cheap for sure, and you could get your goblins from PML for like really cheap because the plastic wouldn't cost a ton. I've been looking around on the internet. I found a YouTuber out there, and his name escapes me right now, but he's been working on a plastic injection molding machine that you can recycle specific types of plastics. You essentially grind them up in a blender, throw it in the feed bin, and it will press out it will extrude it like normal plastic. So that would be really cool if we could do recycled plastic minis. Like let's take out this, let's take these bottles or whatever. Once they're dry, rinse them out, huck them in the machine, and turn them into goblins. Yeah, I will probably be doing a workout stream tomorrow. Tonight got away from me. I was so tired. I came home and I crashed on the couch and I fell asleep and kind of just decided to write it off for tonight. I've been working pretty hard on the workout front, so I'm thinking tomorrow would be I'm gonna go back in and start doing it. But yeah, so there's a couple of ideas for you on some things I'd like to do in the far. That one's a bit further out in the future. The cost for startup on that is a little bit higher than I can handle right now on my own, but I believe with all of the PML affiliates that we have out there, that will be on our way, in the next year or two. Hopefully, that's what I'm fingers crossed for. But yeah, what's going on? The Cheese Whisperer has entered the chat. John is a friend of mine. We call him the Cheese Whisperer. He works at a cheese factory, and he's freaking great. Are you gonna play more Call to Arms with us? Yeah, probably. I think I'm probably gonna have to get off and maybe play some Call to Arms before I go to bed. They play with the ones with the ships. Yes, I think that's probably X-Wing. Star Wars X-Wing, I think is what that one's called, from Fantasy Flight as well, and that's also another really fun one. But it seems like I'm being beckoned to go and enjoy myself with some friends here. So I think I'm going to do that to wrap my night up. Thank you all for joining me here on Paint Minis Live, and as we paint through these Moon Men for Weird World War II. Here comes Jackboy too. See, you can see now they're pestering me. I'm getting egged on. But yeah, thank you very much again for joining me here on PML tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing a workout stream somewhere in there, and then we'll come back to the painting desk and we'll start doing some more of these kind of standard trooper guys. Thanks again for everybody who came in and chatted. Frost and Fist, Miss Bella Games, and Mini Warmut. Calvinoni, the Dungeon Minister, RPG Grandma, Namar, thanks for coming back and saying hello. Calvinoni, the one and only, Tonka Todd, and I hope I did. If the Wheeling Dragon too, and Jube Jube Rocket made an appearance tonight as well. Thank you all for coming out and seeing me. We'll talk to you again very soon tomorrow.